morning. I woke up this morning feeling my body mourning the potential, inevitable loss of Tim from our daily lives, and just feeling the heaviness of that, and feeling that I had a day ahead of work to do. That our girls were in the house and one had a sleepover, and just kind of tuning into what was going on around me and what was pulling me into the day to get up out of bed. And it's weird, in this place I can feel like a temptation to feel sorry for myself, sorry for us, and on the flip side I feel like just intense gratitude. It's the moment I start to shift towards that self-pity and those heavier feelings that I feel reminded that from the day of diagnosis onward, every single day has been a blessing and a gift. And had things not rushed the way they did that day, we may not have had any time beyond that. And then when Tim was in the ICU and on breathing support, again, we said our goodbyes, and every day since that day in September of 2022 has been a gift on top of a gift. And then I'm reminded that, many people don't have a chance to have this time where life is finite, at least here it is. And, a lot of deaths are really quick, and you don't have time to prepare. It just happens, and then you're living with the trauma and the aftershocks. I was just kind of messaging some friends last night and just sharing that the feeling that I'm having right now is a whole lot like the feeling that I had in anticipation of the births of our daughters. The time when we had both girls were born in our home, and one of the pregnancies took a long time. The other one seemed like it took a long time because I felt like for a whole week I was in and out of like, is she coming? Is it happening now? But I could just feel like the stillness as we awaited for their arrival. And, there was a lot of activity happening too, but there was this intense stillness and quiet. And I just felt like life had created this bubble around us to allow us to bring in these two beautiful beings, and we were in that bubble together with our midwife. And at times things were touch and go. At times they put me on oxygen. At times it was questionable, if we needed to transport to the hospital. But overall, the memory of that time was just this intense stillness and quiet, and pregnant, hot, holding. It was just and I feel that right now. I feel like preparation for and transition is I know there are death doulas out there who would say that it is very much like a midwifing process that they assist people through. And I feel like that. I feel like it's a birth into another plane of existence that for those he or any of us leave behind when we pass, like, we don't get to go on that adventure. That's only for the one that's making the transition, but we can all support it and assist it with our energy and how we show up. And I can feel for my own, our own inevitable loss. I feel the tether that is between us that kind of holds us together in this time and space. And I can also feel that at some point that tether will need to be released so that he can make that transition when that's for him to do. I could feel it when my dad passed. For a while I felt him lingering, and then it was like, poof, he's gone. He did it. And it's hard to let go. It's hard to think about. It's hard to think about that. And I feel myself preparing for it. It's like, it's time to go there. It's time to just be with those tender emotions. It's time to and yet I'm driving to work, and I feel like I'm also supposed to just hold these routines and patterns, because that's where stability lies. And not supposed to someone saying you have to do this, but supposed to because it's internally guided to just stay the course and hold steady and trust, and I can't control this. We can't control this. Our girls can't control it. We can't stop it. We can't make it go any faster. And there's something really beautiful about that, remarkably beautiful. And I feel like that too, when I look around me at our beautiful planet and all of the things that we're doing to it for the good and for the bad, and that it's, in some ways we've set things in motion that have kind of taken on a life of their own in terms of degradation and decay. But there's a whole lot we can do. There's a whole lot we can do to sustain life. There's a whole lot we can do to make things better. But then at a certain point, it's out of our control, and we have to be here, present in the moment. I think a lot of the traumas that we've caused to our planet are because we're really challenged as human beings to be here in the moment. I think if we could all be here in the moment more, we wouldn't have needed to create such a mess. But that's a digression or a sidestep from what's going on inside of me and inside of cancer right now. It's funny when I think about these vlogs and I feel into why am I posting all of this one after another, but it feels like it's a I'm writing chapters of a book or sections of a chapter. And because of the circumstances I'm in, I can't write this with my hand, because at the end of the day, I just want to lay down. And so I'm writing it as I drive to and from work, and I'm writing it with each vlog post. And I think that I don't know, These are tender, intimate spaces and places that we exist in as human beings, and when Tim and I were married, we both were functioning as priests at the time, and our marriage was, we really had committed ourselves and our marriage to be one of service, and that was something that I had observed in my parents. They weren't ministers, but they were ministers in many ways to the people that knew and loved them, and in how they lived their lives. They had a deep faith, and I felt like of all the things that I could kind of have as the hallmark of kind of the cornerstone of my own marriage, that was something that I longed for. And so Tim and I were both serving alongside of each other, and then at a certain point we were invited to consider courting one another, and that led to our relationship forming and eventually getting married and having children. And in some ways I felt like we never really got to live out that kind of commitment that we made to each other, but somehow, like, through this journey, I feel like we've been given an opportunity to do that. I feel like overall we're both pretty introverted people, and fairly, quiet, but there's a whole lot that goes on the inside, and it feels like we've been invited to share this. Because we can. And so we have. And we have with the hope and desire that sharing it will somehow aid you in your journey. Whatever hard journey you're traveling in life, will help you rise above whatever the circumstances are, and reach for the light, and reach for the good, and open to receive the good in all of the ways it desires to come to you. My emotion it's not sad. It doesn't feel sad. It just feels like life moving through my body, through this vessel. And I think when it moves through abundantly, it carries with it emotion, because it's like cracking open places that need to receive life. And so somehow in these sharings, I feel like God is breathing life into me, and that life helps me to keep going. So I feel grateful, really, really grateful, and each time I do a post, I'm kind of mindful that it's like, I don't know who will listen to this, and I'm sure at some point somebody's going to say, oh my God, it's her again, and oh, here she goes again. And I feel temptation in that to just not even put up the post, because I'm like, oh God, I don't want anybody to be thinking that way. But each time I'm finished and I question, I'm just like, oh fudge. Just post it and keep going. And so I do, and each time someone reaches out to me and says thank you, like this one really spoke to me, I just feel like, oh, thanks for giving me the courage to just put it out there and not hold it to myself, because there's a lot of temptation to just hold it for myself and for us, for our family, and I feel like that would be fine, that would be totally fine. But in the event that one other person might benefit from me sharing us through this cancer journey, then it's worth the effort it takes to post it, and it's worth the vulnerability that I feel in doing so. And I feel deeply grateful for my husband and our girls for saying yes, that it's okay to share this to whoever wants to tune in and receive it. So all right, thank you as always for being here, and just wish you blessings in your day, blessings for your journey. I hope today has some really bright spots.